Relocation an option to avoid threats. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill directs state entities to support Kadovar Islanders. And importers warned to comply with national laws.
This is the National EMTV News with Meribah Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Sunday's news. The ECPIC provincial government is now pushing for the relocation of islanders in BM, Rup and Kadovar. Governor Alan Bird visited Rup Island yesterday and said relocation is the only option to avoid further threats from volcanic activities. He said current resources are limited and has asked the national government to intervene and assist. Nearly 3,000 people are living on the 3 volcanic islands. Jack Lapave Jr. reports from Wewak.
With Kadovar spilling ash and lava in the past 10 days, the East Sepik provincial governor paid his second visit to the island of Rup yesterday. Governor Bird was accompanied by Grand Chief Sir Michael Sumare. Speaking to the people there, Governor Bird and Sir Michael had only one agenda: the islanders must be relocated in the next 48 hours.
I've asked the people here, not asked them, I've told them that I'm evacuating them. I've just given the order to evacuate them. And that's what we're going to be doing as soon as the landing craft hits the island.
It's about 10 days since Kadovar erupted and there are no signs of stopping. Authorities have been keeping a close watch. In this picture taken, another crater has developed on the shores of the island. Nearly 8,000 people have been evacuated to Rup for safety. Rations have been also shipped to the island to resolve food and water scarcity. But there is another concern with nearby island of BM spewing ash and lava earlier this morning. Former Governor and Grand Chief Sir Michael Sumare says a chain reaction is likely to happen, so people must move to the mainland.
All our place too, you got volcano, but you got noise planted on ground. Now, walk long, all leaders play you be. Only I'll be you me long. I'll be me long, senis na. Put them ting long, move long sublab.
With BM likely to cause another stress on the current help given by authorities, Governor Bird will be seeking help from the national government for an increase in resources to move the 3 islanders of Kadovar, Rup and BM to the mainland. The affected islanders will be temporarily settled at Dandan in the Turubu LLG, where land has been allocated by the provincial government. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News, Wewak.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has issued directives to state entities for their support on the evacuation of Kadovar Islanders. The Prime Minister has authorized the deployment of more personnel to assist in the evacuation of over 3,000 islanders.
In a statement released just this afternoon, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill said the national government's resources are fully engaged and they are working closely with the East Sepik provincial government in this evacuation exercise. Based on predictions of a possible tsunami, the Prime Minister is now calling all islanders to evict their islands to prevent casualties. Since the Kadovar eruption last week, the PNG Defence Force have sent a patrol boat from the Lombrum Naval Base in Manus, a naval vessel from the Basilis Naval Base in Port Moresby, and troops from the 2nd Royal Pacific Islands Regiment in Moyam. The Defence Force is also working with the Provincial Disaster Committee in East Sepik in this rescue mission. Meanwhile, cash donations can be made to the Kadovar Island Disaster Relief Appeal through a BSP account. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
To Morobe Province now, and more than 20 families in the Tanam area near Nadzap in Leh have been evicted. An incorporated land group claiming large tracts from Nadzap area to Erap brought in bulldozers last Friday and began removing homes. Customary landowners near the affected area are also being threatened. A notice for the eviction was signed by Morbe Provincial Police Commander Augustine Wampe.
These families were caught by surprise this week when they were told they had to leave the land on which they had been living on for years. Yesterday, police from the Morobe Rural Command stood guard as bulldozers tore down several houses. This afternoon, more houses along the Tanam area were bulldozed. Neandros Yasi was told to leave. She was threatened and told to pack up.
So time moli to call kisi order lo district court na mi aski mol desla district court you plus to go inside to now talk no gat now why na you mi pla land blow stop inside here mi pla ari mol sem na order paper blow you pla we now only I think almost ring go mi no clear em na lo 3 o'clock all karim desla order paper ya ikam.
Many are settlers, but the eviction has also drawn concern from customary landowners. Elijah Moitz, a customary landowner, has also been given a notice signed by the Provincial Police Commander Augustine Wampe. He's also been told houses belonging to his family may be removed.
Now yet legally in open yet. Legally been closed last year now 2018 in open yet. So time me open I'm not bamipla which I look at volume more date look na bamipla ko pe look at.
The eviction order is understood to have originated from a recently formed incorporated land group, allegedly backed by a rice distribution company. Our attempts to get a response from the Provincial Police Commander were unsuccessful this afternoon. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Leh.
A group of mobile phone users who are yet to register their SIM cards say not enough awareness is provided at registration booths. Simon Joe, a youth who lives at 15 Mile outside Port Moresby, says he will not register his SIM card. He is among many users refusing to register for a number of reasons.
At least 3 out of 10 people in Papua New Guinea are refusing to register their SIMs. Some say they do not have a valid ID card to register, while others say they lack proper awareness on the registration exercise.
Tamol kam tok mi pla look strong long na mi pla just also mom kind something where making me pla skin kiraba also mi pla foul too na mi pla sinda na all bien kena all ko tok now all tok embe like January last year all been come now all tok na all se mi pla all geta no plant all no register too.
The SIM card registration exercise comes after the national government passed the National Information Communication Technology Act in August 2016. The Act requires all telecommunication companies to register their customers through their SIM cards. They were given 18 months to register, but most mobile phone users did not register until late December 2017. Thus, NICTA had moved the deadline forward to January 23rd, which is 9 days from now. In a statement released last week by Communications Minister Sam Basil, the 3 mobile companies were urged to work alongside NICTA to ensure customers register their SIMs. But many customers in rural areas say they cannot register because they do not have a valid ID card or have access to a statutory declaration form from a courthouse.
Line lo rural areas number them. How about him all go register him sim lo le. Time all digital no go inside na go geralo. We all put him tawa lo but minno sa all go inside lo slow area we all go put it tawa o no. And one black point to.
Those in the informal sector and living outside of Port Moresby say they are yet to register. This is because it is costly for them to travel into Port Moresby and the registration lines are too long.
But now you don't know can close him area. Suppose all close him area. Minuting was implanting man country all register. So this is la tasole one blakain problem work come up na mi all man Mary law.
country now me pla work lo thinking planting lo displa. Like myself me register but Mary Blomi no register. Suppose Mary Blomi ko lo gorens na sambla rasko lo la teki memo em ko lo car accident. Em pa no na blo konteki mi minu sawe em go na em no campek na em stablo 3 mile ausiko em dry o sat em minu na clear tu. Just because all man stalo city tu or no register tu.
Meanwhile, there is a matter before the National Court in Port Moresby to seek legal orders to relax the registration of SIM cards. That case returns to the Waigani National Court for directions hearing this Wednesday. Takla Gunga, National MTV News.
Police in Manus have charged 3 minors each for 2 counts of break and enter and stealing over 20,000 kina in cash. They allegedly broke into a shop owned by Bangladeshi nationals in Lorengau earlier this month. Using a bolt cutter, they entered the shop and walked off with cash and cigarettes valued at over 15,000 kina. All 3 minors are aged between 17 and 18 and are in police custody. You're watching National MTV News. We go for a break and be back with more on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National MTV News. A 36-year-old man from Waratalai village in Penabu Nali Sopat LLG in Manus was arrested and charged for sexual penetration of a minor. Manus Police Commander Chief Inspector David Yapu said the accused, whilst under the influence of alcohol, entered the victim's house through the window and during her sleep and sexually penetrated her without her consent. The accused is now in custody and is expected to appear before the Lorengau District Court this week. The Human Development Institute will extend its training programs to inmates of Bomana Prison outside Port Moresby. The institute is taking this initiative to upskill the capacity of those serving behind bars.
The Human Development Institute had opened its doors to the general public this weekend during their open day.
Yeah, we're doing an open day just to help Papua New Guineans, to help them develop this mindset to venture into their businesses. And maybe most of us, we want to better manage our family needs, and like how to perform better at the workplace and all that.
With its locally designed training program aimed at developing and building on participants to become more viable, HDI believes this is a way forward in building human asset. The holistic approach under the Personal Viability Business Scheme is designed to develop entrepreneurs and SMEs in all forms of business and industries.
Into HDI, it's all about developing this person to become what he or she wants to do, what's his passion of work. Hey, you don't go into something where you're not passionate about. You want to go into something where you're passionate about, so you give it the best, your very best. And yes, I've gone around the city and I've seen so many places where they want to build infrastructure for small SMEs. But the question is Papua New Guinea ready to go into business? Yes, we say, yeah, infrastructure is going out, but our human asset, we're not ready to go into business. Business is another thing altogether. You can't go into business with working class. No, you can't. You'll be out there maybe after 1 month, 2 months, your business is closed down because you don't have that business mindset.
Meanwhile, there will be 3 batches available this year, with the first batch to commence training next month. Registration is now open to interested individuals and business houses.
I believe that coming through this training will help you more to do what you want to achieve in life. And I also want to say that because it's homemade Papua New Guinea product, I want Papua New Guineans to embrace it, start embracing it and saying that yes, this education system is grown in Papua New Guinea and it was created purposely to help all the grassroots people in the rural area.
Completion of the PVBS training program will also see participants acquire a non-academic professional degree from the Global University for Lifelong Learning in the U.S. Marini Diaukatam, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. We go for a break and be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Something a bit different now, and Papua New Guinea's very own Crocodile Dundee makes an appearance every weekend at the Adventure Park 14 Mile. Farapo Sare is the brave man who keeps visitors entertained by feeding the 5 to 6 meter crocodiles, which is one of the greatest.
Farapo Sare, the pet handler, knows how to communicate with these big crocodiles. Sare, who hails from Kerema in the Gulf province, is mute and deaf, but has known the crocodiles for 35 years. Although it is a challenge to communicate to humans, the crocodiles understand him extremely well. Every weekend at 3 p.m., crowds turn up for the live feeding of the two 5 to 6 meter crocodiles named Paus and Tachenko. Each crocodile gets to eat one live chicken. Farapo walks into the crocodile pen, calls the crocodile out from the pond, and feeds the crocodile. Lilian Kinea, National EMTV News.
And Adventure Park at 14 Mile continues their catch and win cash competition every weekend. 15 people walked away as winners this weekend, and individuals are able to win up to 40,000 kina.
With the end of school holidays nearing, residents are able to win some money. This competition has attracted residents from as far as Central Province.
Badly, Kila, all Gadablo, must be NCDC, Trebla, Elder, Molgadagam, all Northeast, must be South, must be Northwest, all Gadakam. Even as far as Kairugiri district, and Sogari come down to Planty line, 17 miles to come down. Within all of Mosby City, I think all the line will come yet.
There are 2 more weekends left for the catch and win competition. Cory Mon, park manager, is excited to see that families and residents were enjoying the competition.
Especially in all school students, all families all live around the city just to come and have their mind relaxed, and then for their young ones and their children to relax, do some fishing. And then at the same time, we are putting it's like a competition. So we're having the prize money and everything here. So it's all about doing something like fun. Now it's all about some.
15 tagged fish were caught over this weekend. Victoria Timus, a student from Gerahu Secondary, was one of the lucky winners who caught 2 yellow tagged fish.
We've been here since the competition starts, and we did not caught any, but today was the luckiest day. I caught 2 fish, yellow tag, which is 200, and I won 400 kina. That was all excitement, and I thank Justin Chachanko.
Rigana Ronnie of Gerahu also came with her parents. She was surprised to catch a tagged fish.
Mi plakam huke no amigo lapset side na mi hukam pla fish. Bien mila luki me yellow tag and tap na mi ama mas na mi plak karam gimol.
The lucky winners received their cash prizes presented to them by Jordan Tachenko, son of Minister for Lands and APEC Justin Tachenko. If you don't catch a tagged fish, there are more prizes to be won in the raffle draw. Lilian Kinea, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. We go for a break and be back with some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned. Something a bit different now, and Papua New Guinea's very own Crocodile Dundee makes an appearance every weekend at the Adventure Park 14 Mile. Farapo Sare is the brave man who keeps visitors entertained by feeding the 5 to 6 meter crocodiles, which is one of the greatest.
Farapo Sare, the pet handler, knows how to communicate with these big crocodiles. Sare, who hails from Kerema in the Gulf province, is mute and deaf, but has known the crocodiles for 35 years. Although it is a challenge to communicate to humans, the crocodiles understand him extremely well. Every weekend at 3 p.m., crowds turn up for the live feeding of the two 5 to 6 meter crocodiles named Powers and Tachenko. Each crocodile gets to eat one live chicken. Farapa walks into the crocodile pen, calls the crocodile out from the pond, and feeds the crocodile. Lillian Kinea, National EMTV News.
And Adventure Park at 14 Mile continues their catch and win cash competition every weekend. 15 people walked away as winners this weekend, and individuals are able to win up to 40,000 kina.
With the end of school holidays nearing, residents are able to win some money. This competition has attracted residents from as far as Central Province.
Badly, kila, all katablo, must be NCDC, trebla, elder more katakam, all northeast, must be south, must be northwest, all katakam. Even as far as Kairugiri district, and Sogari come down to Planty line, 17 miles to come down. Within all of Mosby City, I think all the line will come yet.
There are 2 more weekends left for the catch and win competition. Cory Mon, park manager, is excited to see that families and residents were enjoying the competition.
Especially in all school students, all families all live around the city just to come and have their mind relaxed, and then for their young ones and their children to relax, do some fishing. And then at the same time, we are putting it's like a competition. So we're having the prize money and everything here. So it's all about doing something like fun. Now it's all about some.
15 tagged fish were caught over this weekend. Victoria Timus, a student from Gerahu Secondary, was one of the lucky winners who caught 2 yellow tagged fish.
We've been here since the competition starts, and we did not caught any, but today was the luckiest day. I caught 2 fish, yellow tag, which is 200, and I won 400 kina. That was all excitement, and I thank Justin Tachenko.
Rigana Ronnie of Gerahu also came with her parents. She was surprised to catch a tagged fish.
Mi plakam huke no amigo lapset side na mi hukam pla fish. Bien mila luki me yellow tag antap na mi ama mas na mi plag karam gimol.
The lucky winners received their cash prizes presented to them by Jordan Tachenko, son of Minister for Lands and APEC Justin Tachenko. If you don't catch a tagged fish, there are more prizes to be won in the raffle draw.
You're with National EMTV News. We go for a break, and on the other side we have Trukai Sports. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Now, in the previous segment, we talked about the Ugabena community at Tarama Valley. Now, here is their story by Diniros Raiko.
With seasonal sports not only here in Port Moresby but outside centres yet to kick off the normal competitions, there are a few smaller competitions still grinding. MTV Sports came across Ugabena Community Sports in what happens to be the final playoffs today. And it may not exactly be the standard sporting ground, but it served a greater purpose. In the last 4 months, these grounds proved resourceful as the netball and touch competitions played here kept most of these youths out of trouble.
Violence free, drug free, alcohol free. Making these games, keeping all youths in the community stay focused on the game, stop away all troubles, problems.
With some financial help from Quimon security firm, this initiative not only benefited the Ugabena community but the surrounding communities at Tarama as well. Being a new settlement with most settlers coming from Morata, Gerehu and other parts of Pomosbi, community leaders saw the importance of maintaining discipline in order to keep peace.
So in Chalusla community we are made up of different types of whole Papua New Guinea Mibla comes around ethnic groups from Mibla. Mibla come no Morata, Gerehu, Ola, Mibla come no one up, Mibla come settle. So all different lifestyles from Mibla outside Mibla, let's come bring him up, come inside lawyer. Mibla like come up in Nubla life, Nubla living, Nubla style lo stop lawyer. So that's why Mibla creating this all games lo. Brought him all youth Mibla come up lo. Stay focused on sports.
Chairman Rex Kaupa appealed to other communities not only in Pomosbi but outside centers to continuously come up with initiatives that involve sports.
Tauroma Valley Mibla Nubla community. So Mibla looking mo sama sports too Mibla part lo discipline mo la youth lo Mibla lo community. Mo some parents lo parents lo all youths me had lo discipline mo la house lo me sports too nar lo way lo Mibla discipline mo. So our community too, lo Tauroma Valley too, got outside, the 9 mile outside Gero, Nubla communities encouragement from you, usat you establish your community, you mouse man, you leader man, blow up, you stop and please you go ahead, look, come up with kind of games, lo control you.
The competition itself will see its finals next week, and so far it has been trouble-free, which is exactly the desired outcome. Sports has proven time and again to be an effective tool that can be used to instill healthy habits in the society. It is an avenue Papua New Guinea communities can use to keep young men and women away from law and order problems. Viniro Sraiko, National EMTV Sports.
To softball now, and the Port Moresby Women's Softball Association has commenced its matches for 2018. The first round of matches were held yesterday.
Okay, so the competition resumed yesterday for the Port Moresby Women's Softball Association. That's game 5 and game 6. We had double headers. So that's game 5 and game 6 of round 1. Then we complete that in the next 2 weekends, and then we start the round 2 for another 4 weekends. Yeah, of competition. We should have the competition wrap up by the 10th of March before we go into finals. So championships will be run by the Easter weekend. Pom Women will be sending our team gold to defend the title for the 10th time in a row. We've had the title for. Our team listing for that should be out by February for the squad that's going to be named.
And that's it for Trukai Sports. We go for a break and be back with the weather details for Monday. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
I'll look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. We begin in the southern region as always. Thundery showers expected in Port Moresby, a shower or two for Kerama and Popondetta. Fine weather expected in Daru and Alotau with a top of 32 all across the region. To the Momasi region, fine weather expected in Leh and Wa with a top of 32. A top of 32 as well, and a shower or two in Madang. Thundery showers in Wewak, some showers expected in Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, fine weather expected in Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka. Showers expected in Kimbe, brief showers expected in Lorengau. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, all these major centres can expect brief thundery showers over the next 24 hours with morning fog. To look at the forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours in waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait, Daru, Kiwai Island, Kerama to Yul Island, to Hood Point, Samarai Island, waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, and waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel, Finschhafen, waters of Long Island to Madang, Bogia, Wewak to Aitape, Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, and waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.5 to 1 meter. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel, Finschhafen, waters of Finschhafen to Vitias and Dampier Strait, to CIC Island to Long Island, and waters of New Ireland to New Britain and Bougainville, sea 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And a look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea, seas smooth to slight with northeast to southeasterly winds at 5 to 10 knots. Solomon Sea, seas slight with northeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas smooth to slight with northeast to southwesterly winds at 5 to 10 knots. And Pacific Ocean, seas slight with east and northeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Now, before we go, a few more stories. PNG Customs have destroyed 3 40-foot containers containing double happiness, a type of cigarette considered illegal here in Papua New Guinea. The disposal occurred today at a secure location outside Port Moresby. Customs Commissioner Ray Paul has warned all importers to cease the import of illegal products and follow the country's laws.
The container opened today had 1/3 of it stocked with slippers, material, toilet tissue, and mattresses. As those products were removed, 2/3 of the 40-foot container revealed boxes stocked with illegal products known as double happiness, a type of cigarette. These cigarettes are banned from business houses in PNG. The Customs Commissioner gave a warning to all businesses importing products from overseas to abide by the laws and regulations in Papua New Guinea.
I want to issue a warning on this media release today to the importers all of the cigarettes at my back. And the warning goes like this. We know for sure PNG Customs is in a business of helping business to grow in this country. We are not here in any way to kill the business, because we know for sure that you employ Papua New Guineans, and they are people that belongs to this country, and that's their right for employment, and we don't want to stop your business. But let me say this, that if you continue to do what you're doing, I will have no hesitation in doing all that I can under my powers to stop your business from operating. That goes to importers of the cigarettes at my back. You may be watching me on this email, on this press release today, so I am warning you.
3 40-footer containers from China containing illicit products were emptied this weekend. All illicit products were burned to ashes. These 3 containers are worth almost 24 million kina. Paul maintains the PNG Customs position to protect Papua New Guinea's border, communities, and industries. Lilian Kinea, National EMTV News.
And now to an update on our top story on the situation on Kadovar and nearby islands in East Sepik Province. I spoke with our reporter, Jack Lapave Jr., a few moments ago to give us an update. Good afternoon, Jack. Thank you for joining us to give an update on the situation there in East Sepik Province. First of all, what is the latest volcanic situation at the Southern Group of Islands?
Thank you, Nirva. The latest is that the volcano on BM Island erupted at around 3 a.m. this morning. From reports by councillors on the island, lava spewed out of the crater. And as we speak, there is continuous spewing of dust and other activities there as well. Authorities are fearing a possible chance of chain reaction among the dormant volcano islands. Kadovar is also active with another crater visible on the shores.
East Sepik Governor Alan Bird spoke of the relocation. How soon will that happen?
The first load of islanders from Rupup, Kadovar and BM will be arriving tonight on the mainland. However, the limited resources of transportation will take more than 4 days to evacuate a population of about 3,000 to the mainland. The East Sepik Governor will be seeking help from the Prime Minister to assist if more resources can be sent to UAE to fast-track the relocation exercise.
Okay, now finally for the relocation to the mainland, where exactly will the islanders be resettled and for how long?
Yes, sorry, but the islanders from Kadovar, Rukuk and Biam will be resettled at Bandar number 2 LLG. That is situated in the Wewak district. Work has begun on the resettlement site, and the East Chipik government the East Chipik provincial government has committed 200,000 to the landowners for the piece of land. The resettlement will be temporary until authorities have confirmation that the 3 islands can be inhabited by people. According to sources at the East Chipik provincial government, the resettlement is expected for 3 years or more.
All right, thank you so much, Jack, for that update. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that was Jack Lapave from Wewak, ECP province, was giving us updates on the situation on Kadovar and the nearby islands. Now moving on, Facebook wants to focus on the quality of its users' connections. The social network kicked that off effort by shaking up the newsfeed. Users will now see more content from friends and family instead of posts from publishers and brands trying to sell you something.
I think it's a big deal because the tweak of an algorithm at Facebook will impact 2 billion people. It has an enormous amount of reach, and we've also seen the negative impact of Facebook over the last year. We've looked at the weaponization of the platform to interfere with the U.S. election. We are now seeing mental health studies come out that show us that continued scrolling and not interacting can actually be bad for our mental health. So, you know, Mark Zuckerberg has a lot of problems he has to fix when it comes to the platform. It was his New Year's resolution to fix Facebook. This is part one of that. I actually had the opportunity to sit down with the VP of Newsfeed, and he told me they want to emphasize quality over quantity. Take a listen.
So the idea is to try and focus more on bringing people together by trying to put more emphasis on facilitating more meaningful social interactions between people. And the way we do that in ranking is to value things like commenting or writing a long comment more, and valuing things like how long we think you might watch a video for less. And so as a result, the ecosystem will shift.
Could that lead to less daily active users?
I think, anything is always possible. In this case, we haven't seen that people come to Facebook less often. We do see that people spend a little bit less time on Facebook, but we think that if we are creating an experience that people are finding meaningful, that over the long run, they're going to use the experience of the platform more, and that'll be good both for people and for the business.
You guys have fallen into some uncomfortable editorial questions in the last year, whether it's the weaponization of the platform or just hate speech and all of these real philosophical, ethical questions that come with becoming a worldwide platform. So is this trying to take a step away from, those uncomfortable editorial questions?
I don't think there's any future in which we are not having difficult conversations about sticky issues. And so I don't think this
increasingly so, right?
Yeah, and that's because a lot of people use our platform every single day, and it's an important part of the way people communicate and consume information. And so I think along with that comes a lot of attention and scrutiny, and this ranking change isn't going to change that.
What I think we'll have to look for is, does the algorithm reward comments that just provoke a reaction? Could that be negative as well? And I think a lot of people are worried, a lot of publishers are worried because they rely on Facebook for eyeballs, and this could demote a lot of the content we see with videos and businesses and brands. So it remains to be seen what this will do to the business. But I will say it's interesting to see tech leaders take a stronger stance on.
Since drones have become popular, there's been a concern that they could be used by terrorists. Now we're told of a new threatening way they could be deployed to attack in swarms to inflict mass casualties.
Drones displayed by the Russian Defense Ministry appear to have small bombs on them. The Russians claim swarms of these unmanned vehicles, 13 drones in all, attacked 2 of their bases in Syria in recent days. They blame ISIS for the attacks. Russian officials say no one was injured and that their anti-aircraft units brought down the drones. Tonight, experts are concerned about the possibility of swarming drone attacks on American targets.
They are small and relatively hard to detect. The radar is not looking for something flying typically as low as a drone or that is as small as a drone. Also, when the drones are launched on a target in a swarming manner, this creates a redundancy and also a saturation effect.
Russian officials say they believe these drones were launched from at least 30 miles away from their targets, but they could travel as far as about 60 miles. How would swarms of them be operated?
The idea of launching multiple drones at a single target really isn't that difficult, especially if these drones have a GPS capability and there's a way, therefore, to pre-program a waypoint into the drone so that it lands, basically crashes at a certain point and becomes a kamikaze.
CNN has learned that U.S. security officials are scrambling to keep up with this latest threat of swarms of drones. A large open venue like this where there are a lot of people often gathered at once, how vulnerable to swarming drones with bombs?
Well, the answer is if you have a bunch of people in a wide open space like this, of course they're vulnerable, right? And we already know that because we've seen attacks, New York City and other places, and mostly in vehicles, right? And so now what we've done is we've tried to protect ourselves on the ground, pushing that things further out to protect the crowds. But this is something new. Coming in overhead, right?
High-profile targets like the upcoming Super Bowl could potentially be threatened by swarms of drones. A key question tonight, how can security teams defend against them?
One is you find the bad people to begin with and stop them before they do anything. The second one is all these things are radio controlled. So you would interfere with the electronic signal that's command and controlling the aircraft. And the third thing you might do is just shoot them down. I mean, they are fragile and they are pretty light, and you could probably take it down with a high-powered rifle.
Are those steps being taken to protect Americans against swarming drone attacks? Pentagon and Homeland Security officials tell us they are, but they won't say specifically what's being done, saying a lot of that is classified. One Homeland Security official did say.
And that's how we end the news for today, Sunday, the 14th of January, 2018. On behalf of the EMTV News team, have a pleasant working week. Good night.